Today we're making a chili chocolate tart, and this recipe is actually from my book, Surfing the Menu Next Generation. And it was a recipe that we created when we were up in Broome. It's an amazing part of the world, and they've got epic chilies. So, first we are gonna do our pastry. Flour, unsalted butter, little pinch of salt, icing sugar, and we're just gonna pulse that together. Just wanna break up the butter. Now I'm gonna add an egg, some vanilla paste, a couple more bursts. We're gonna get it on the bench. Just bring this together in a bit of a disc. Some cling film, and that's gonna go into the fridge to chill for about 15 minutes. So while that pastry is resting, we're gonna make the filling for the tart. I've got some really nice dark chocolate here. Try not to eat too much of it. Shh. Into the food processor, along with our other dry ingredients. Cocoa powder, caster sugar, hazelnut meal, cinnamon, and the important ingredient, a little bit of chili powder. Blitz that all together. Just wanted to combine, you want that chocolate to break down. So next up, we have our butter. Chocolate loves some orange. The good thing about using orange zest is it introduces flavor without adding any more liquids. Again, we just wanted to bring that together. So we're gonna add the eggs now, one at a time, so they incorporate well into the mixture. And that mix is looking perfect. And what we can do now is just set it aside until our tart case is finished. We can fill it, and then it goes in the oven. Okay, so our pastry's been resting. It's now time to roll it out. We're gonna get it to about 5 millimeters thick. Roll and turn. Pastry has to come up the side of the tart tin, okay? So we need to roll it out just a little bit more. So now this is probably the trickiest bit of the whole dish, is getting your pastry into the tart tin. Roll the pastry onto the rolling pin, lift the pastry up, and then place it into the tin. And now you want to lift the pastry and drop it into the corner. Lift the pastry, work it into the corner. We are going to use the rolling pin again just to cut the top of the pastry. It's going to go into the freezer for 30 minutes just to set. Okay, so it's chilled. What we have to do is blind bake the pastry. So that means putting the pastry in the oven just before we add the filling, so that way it gets nice and crispy and crunchy crust. The trick to blind baking is using baking weights. We do this because if we don't add the weight into the center, it'll start puffing up and then we won't have any room for our filling. Let's get this in the oven, 200 degrees for 10 minutes. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is just take out the baking beads, and just to get the bottom really crisp, it's gonna go back in the oven for another 3 minutes. So the casing is cooled, it's nice and golden all over. All we have to do now is add the filling and chuck it back in the oven for the 10th time. It's a lot of oven work. Back into the oven, 35 to 40 minutes. The tart's been baked, it's been cooled, now it's time to serve. Really simply, just get your hand through there. It's like you got a big bangle. A little dusting of cocoa over the top, some creme fraiche, and some raspberries for freshness. That for me is a cracker dessert. Head on over to the Delicious website for all the ingredients and the method so you guys can join the Delicious Bake Club.